Hey, dude, I want you. You're about to bend the knee, how? And he'll load. He's very, very patient. All of a sudden, bah! Something's coming is gonna knock you the hell out. And he's watching Carlos Pratas knock people the out. And what he was able to do to Drew Dober, I'm just like, all right, man, this guy's a real deal. All the way from the Bible Belt of Arkansas, let's talk about this young brother strength. I feel like they gotta change that BJJ, man, because I start getting the chills.
My name is Triple C. I am the greatest combat athlete of all time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Teletape. I'm your host, Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C. And on today's episode, I am going to be breaking down a very anticipated matchup between Bryce Mitchell versus Jean Silva. These guys are down both each other's throat. Good versus evil, if you want to call it, but this episode wouldn't be possible without the one and only Patriotic Plumbing and Rooter. Guys, you guys have busted pipes. You guys don't know how to lay that damn pipe? Well, I got you covered. You guys only have to go to patrioticplumbingandrooter.com and get your pipe down. Here we go. Jean Silva, 15-2 versus Bryce Mitchell, 17-2. Man, talk about a matchup where it's pretty even, dude. An experience or whatnot. Obviously, with Jean Silva coming into the UFC, but man, you start fighting a lot of those guys in Brazil, jungle fights, dude. That's high-level competition. 12 KOs, 1 decision, 2 submissions. In other words, this guy's a finisher. This guy is a finisher. With Bryce Mitchell, 1 KO, 7 decisions, and 9 submissions. I mean, now we're talking about contrast in styles a bit. 5'7" to 5'9", 69-inch reach to 70, 28 to 30 years old. Dude, I love this matchup. This matchup is a contrast of guys that are similar in height, similar in reach, similar in record, but yet different in styles. But without further ado, guys, let's talk about the strength. Let's talk about Jean Silva, the fight nerd, Lord Jean Silva. What are his strengths? His strengths is, man, next level hand speed. I mean, that speed with that patience, you know, with that pinpoint accuracy and knockout power. But it's the great position that he has, and he'll load. He's very, very patient. All of a sudden, bah! Something's coming is gonna knock you the hell out. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys that fight nerd, like they're studying what they're all doing, man. They all have a really good base. Their position's down, their composure is down, and obviously they have that good recognition of distance. And then also, dude, there's one area that we cannot shut this, you know, we cannot just sit there and, because more likely, I do believe that Bryce Mitchell is going to try to enter into the grappling side. But there's one area where he's going to have to be careful, and it's that damn clinch work. It's the clinch work of what Jean Silva does, of him throwing knees, sliding in those elbows. You know, it's very underrated. So I would be careful there if I'm Thug Nasty Bryce Mitchell. And not just that, but it's right here. All these guys. There always tends to be a trend where a gym kind of starts to really level up with all their fighters. You know, it was American Top Team, and then Kill Cliff, and AKA City Kickboxing. Like, it kind of goes like that. You know, there hasn't been one team where that they pretty much stay consistent throughout for maybe a decade. But that is yet to be known. But right now, the gym of the year with the fighting nerds and Jean Silva, there is one thing that he has, it's his confidence and championship mindset. He's watching Caio Borralho win. He's watching Carlos Pratas knock people the fuck out. He's watching Hoofy, you know, kick of the year candidate that he's doing with what he just did a month ago. I mean, this guy is around champions, and iron sharpens iron, and I think that right now is very dangerous for a guy like Jean Silva. But let's talk about his weaknesses. He has less he doesn't have that high level experience as, let's say, a Bryce Mitchell. You know, this guy, we still don't know. I mean, obviously he's fought guys, but the only guy that I could really think of with the name that he's fought, and I was just like, damn, I'm impressed by this dude, was against Drew Dober. And what he was able to do to Drew Dober, I'm just like, all right, man, this guy's a real deal. This guy is a real deal. He has knockout power. patience, like everything that's there. So the only guy that I can remember that he fought a big name is just Drew Dober in comparison to a guy like Bryce Mitchell. But his weaknesses too, man. Brazilians, feijão, pate, you know, banana de dega. I mean, these dudes love to freaking eat, you know. But it's the cutting weight where he's had to be careful. He's missed weight before in the UFC. I believe he's fighting Bryce Mitchell at featherweight, but he's missed weight even at lightweight. You know what I'm saying? It lets you know how big these Brazilians get. So is him coming down to 145 pounds, could that be his biggest threat? That's a question. Could he let go of feijão, pão de queijo, pate, creme de pudim? Oof. Tell me about it, bro. I'm married to Brazil, so I get it. I ain't mad at you. I ain't judging you either. But that's one thing that he does have to check. And then, you know, overly emotional. You know, obviously, I'm not talking about the fact that he cries and shit. I mean, he needs to fix that, man. If he wants to kind of get the marketing going, he needs to become more of that killer. But that ain't up to me. That's up to him. That's up to him to market that. Because I guess he's being genuine and real to who he is. So it is what it is. But if he can, instead of him crying, getting emotional, he should be calling that next motherfucker out. Hey, dude, I want you. You're about to bend the knee. How? I mean, that's what the UFC likes. That's what Dana White. That's what these dudes. Fans love that spectacle. So if he could, he's doing that right now with Bryce Mitchell. But that could also cross him too, if that's too much for him. You know what I'm saying? There's you know, he's got Lord on his chest, and then Bryce Mitchell's calling him out. It's like, dude, there's only one Lord. His name is Jesus Christ. You know, the King of Kings. So he's doing his damn thing. And the other thing that we haven't seen yet, and I'm sure, I mean, every Brazilian is gonna have great jiu-jitsu. It's a given. But can you mix it in the sport of mixed martial arts? And could you really take those elbows and good top control for somebody like Bryce Mitchell? Well, you'll be all right with that. So that's a question mark to me. Not his grappling, not saying that he's not a black belt or whatnot. I'm not even sure about his grappling accolades, but in a fight, how is he gonna do when he actually fights? Because it changes. Yeah, and then let's talk about Bryce Smith. Let's talk about Thug Nasty, all the way from the Bible Belt of Arkansas. Let's talk about this young brother's strength. It's just, he's got strong takedown he's got strong takedown offense. I mean, Bryce Mitchell's takedowns, dude, are really, really good, man. For the sport of mixed martial arts, whatever wrestling background that he does have, he's been able to really develop good takedown entries according to his style and use some of that elite BJJ. I feel like they got to change that BJJ, man, because I start getting the chills. Don't judge me. But other than that, guys, he's improved his striking with offense and attacks from all areas. Before, man, like the beginning of Bryce Mitchell, like he was worse. He's probably worse than Ben Askren on the feet. But through time, he's been able to develop that, where he's been able to really go to the body, kick the legs, and particularly against my boy 50K Dan Ige. You know, he did that. And I was like, all right, man, this dude is you know, he's improving, man. He's leveling up. He's not just the guy that's gonna go in there and just grapple. So he will throw hands before other things start coming in. And this is one thing that he does have upon a guy like Jean Silva. He does have higher level competition. That just says a lot, dude. But I will say this, he did lose to the majority of the high level guys. He's fought Josh Emmett, got knocked out. He's fought Ilia Topuria. He's fought a lot of those guys that, you know, he's fought 50K Dan Ige. So he's fought the who's in that division. He hasn't gone through everybody, but he's gone through those where you're like, all right, man, the former champion Ilia Topuria, that just says a lot. But without further ado, let's talk about Thug Nasty's weaknesses. Yeah, and this is where Jean Silva's gonna feel good. He doesn't, people that don't have KO power, like the guys that have KO power, those are the most dangerous ones because it only takes one shot in MMA. But the fact that he doesn't, Jean Silva's gonna feel super comfortable here. Super comfortable. And particularly with his patience, absolutely crazy. and he circles into power shots. If you notice the way that and he still hasn't made those adjustments. Like his IQ could be a whole lot better. You know, if you saw that fight against Josh Emmett, he literally circled to that right hand, or he was right in range for that right hand, and that was the same right hand that put him out cold. Circling to the right, it is not good. And then obviously right here, when he gets backed up into the onto the fence, like, he doesn't know how to fight, man. Ilia Topuria took him there, and Bryce Mitchell just had no answer. But this one's a big one right here. He doesn't know how to fight under his back foot. You know what I'm saying? I talk about Ilia, I talk about Emmett, I talk about a lot of those guys that will just steady pressure him, and he has no answers. He needs to develop those takedowns off of him going backwards, or he needs to develop a good anticipation right hand as people are pressing him as they're coming in. But that's a big question mark to me. Has he gotten better with people's constant pressure? Because if I'm Jean Silva, this is what I'm gonna do. Put him on his back foot, kick him, use the hands to eventually knock him out. Yeah, but without further ado, let's get to the stats. Strikes landed per minute, 5.26 from Jean Silva. That's a very, very high number. To 2.31. So the striking department goes to Jean Silva. Strikes absorbed per minute, 4.14 to 1. Obviously, because he throws less, his defense is somewhat better, but not really. Takedown accuracy, 50% to 43%. Takedown defense, 80% to 33% for Bryce Mitchell. Now, obviously, the submission average goes here. I mean, when I look at this board, the board tells you a lot, dude, because now it's no longer, I can get myself out of it. We got to look at who is it that they fought and what is the punch stats here on takedowns, on defense, on takedown offense as well. But I'm looking at this fight, and I do feel like the biggest question mark that I do have, but I do want to say this, and I will give this to Jean Silva, is he did make 145 pounds, and he did make it good, and he made the weight, and he performed. Could a guy like Bryce Mitchell really bring in that wrestling? Did he really bring in that grappling and really make him fight that B-side? Because if he keeps it on his feet, this guy's about to display another knockout of the year for the fighting nerds. But for that reason, I gotta go with the Lord himself. I'm not gonna say Jesus Christ, but I will give this to the one and only Jean Silva. I think there's a lot. I think he's really good. I think he's a top contender already. They're giving him Bryce Mitchell for a reason. They want this dude out. Let's call a spade, and they want to bring this dude in and him start fighting these guys at 145 pounds, because he's making the featherweight division great again. And this episode is brought to you by the one and only Patriotic Plumbing and Router. Guys, you guys have busted pipes. You guys don't know how to lay that damn pipe. Well, I know somebody that does. That's right. I'm talking about Patriotic Plumbing and Router. So you guys make sure to go to patrioticplumbingandrooter.com and get your pipes down. Triple C is out.